Welcome to Who Weekly, the podcast where you'll learn everything you need to know about the celebrities you don't. I'm Bobby Finger.
I'm Lindsay Weber.
And there's just three more sleeps until Phoenix.
Rita Ora's album.
Okay, come on.
Well, I got a new song last night.
I know it's on Spotify. I listened to it this morning. Cashmere.
Did you like it?
I thought it was fine. I don't like it as much as Velvet Rope, but I don't dislike it.
Okay.
I listened to it in bed through my phone speaker because I was just like lying there and it was there.
Yeah.
It was the first tweet that popped up on my feed. It was like Rita Ora retweeting someone saying like, she surprised us again with another track off Phoenix. And she was like, you're welcome, fam, or something.
We don't even have like a definite plan on how we're going to deal with Phoenix coming out.
Oh yeah, we need to figure that out.
Also, the Rita Ora press blitz is more than I could ever imagine.
I could imagine it.
I thought she couldn't do more, but she is doing more. Like I was like, I cannot believe that Rita Ora is doing this much stuff.
We will get to that later though, because that's
a different
that's
segment.
Its own segment. That's its own segment. Lindsay, how was your weekend?
Fine.
Banter, 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 banter.
How was yours?
It was fine. I didn't see Widows and I'm upset.
I didn't see Widows either.
I didn't make plans to see Widows and I feel so stupid. You see it was sold out like everywhere?
That's amazing. It'll still be there when you see you. It'll still be out. Don't worry.
I saw a lot of chatter. I saw the conversations online and I wanted to join the conversations.
You also didn't see Jonathan starring Ansel Elgort. And I know you didn't watch The Princess Switch starring Vanessa Hudgens
Because we're going to watch it together.
I know.
I did not see Jonathan starring Ansel Elgort, Suki Waterhouse, and Patricia Clarkson, but guess what? We're going to watch it today, and we're going to put in a quick little segment of us talking about it later on. We haven't watched it yet.
No, and we have not watched The Princess Switch starring Vanessa Hudgens, because we're going to do that in preparation for our Christmas holiday extravaganza episode.
Which is Friday's episode. Did you see that there's already like a new hunk from The Princess Switch? There's like a new hunk that everyone loves. The hunk.
Is it the Nashville guy?
Hunk in it.
It's the Nashville guy. Is Nashville guy?
Know.
It's not.
I think he's a barista in the movie.
Oh, it's not, because that guy's the prince. It's the other guy?
There's a hunky coffee guy.
Okay, well, I can't wait. I got to watch this movie. I've been waiting.
Should we start the episode, I think?
I mean, that banter was just illuminating.
It wasn't great. It wasn't great banter. Mm-hmm. Here we go.
Oh, wait, before we go on, did you miss camping again?
Oh.
I thought you were going to watch it.
I missed camping again. Oh, my God. Wait. I had plans to watch it, and I completely fucking forgot to watch camping.
Every year, you've missed now, I think the season finale
I think I've missed 6 episodes of camping?
Yeah, it's now becoming like a little bit unlikely that you've missed this much camping.
Oh my God. You know, you should make an HBO series called My Dumbass Friend. That's about me, but it's about me constantly missing camping over our entire friendship.
Sounds like it would get picked up for sure.
4 seasons of television about your one dumbass friend who keeps missing camping.
It's kind of just like about how great your Sundays end up being. Like you just have all these busy Sundays. You know?
Yes, that's exactly what it's about.
You will dream it.
Yo, they want to know.
Hey.
Mia.
Hey.
Mia.
Come on.
Hey. I want to be famous.
I don't know why we haven't talked about him before.
But
the reason I put it at the top was because Gia texted me and was like, please, you have to talk about Hobo Johnson. And it was like this deranged text where she was like, I don't understand who he is. I need to know who he is. Like, I try to figure it out and I can't figure it out.
I know why we haven't talked about him, because, you know, we're early on a lot of stuff, but we're definitely late on like music children.
Because
I am always like, oh, this is a passing thing. I'm like, Lil Xan, like he'll be gone in a week, and it's like then he like eats hot Cheetos and ends up in the hospital, and I'm like, oh, I guess we have to talk about him.
He is back.
This guy isn't really doing as much as like what would make us talk about him, but I get that he's like in the conversation. Also, his music, if you're an adult and you have an adult brain, his music sounds like gobbledygook to adults. Like he's like, come little children. What's like in Hocus Pocus where they sing to the children and only the children can hear? Or the adults can hear?
No, they can. Lindsay, you're misremembering Hocus Pocus. Everyone can hear it. The children are just like hypnotized by it and moved into the witch's den so that they can be like.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, So this,
Adults can hear.
I understand that, but okay, so it's like a dog whistle for children.
The analogy is actually almost spot on,
Thank
but the way
you.
you described it is incorrect.
Bobby, I knew it made sense. So like
Everyone can hear, "Come,
Hobo
little
Johnson
children, I'll take thee away into the
is
land of enchantment."
the come little children of like music, and that like children are entranced and they're like, whoa, we love this like music, and adults hear it and they're like, what is this? Like, this is insane.
It's like emo. It's emo rap, but it's also not. There was, what do they call him? I can't. There's train of thought rapping, which is really
Isn't that
just
just
talking.
freestyling also?
No, it's
like,
talking.
Okay.
It's talking.
So technically we're train of thought rapping.
This is a train of thought rap podcast.
Terrible rap. It's terrible. No wonder we don't chart.
The reason he's sort of relevant today is because there was a piece in Vulture about him called, what was it called? Like, Hobo Johnson is about to be huge or
Yes,
something.
love
Hobo
you,
Johnson
Larry.
is about
Shout
to
out
be
Larry
big.
who wrote this, who is also an adult but knows about children's stuff.
The first time I heard of Hobo Johnson was from an old coworker of mine who shared, a friend of mine who shared this Hobo Johnson Tiny Desk concert on
I
NPR
saw this when it
in
came
our
out,
chat.
too.
And I was like, this was a few months ago in the middle of the summer. And I clicked it and it was like, hey, have y'all seen this? And I clicked it, and when it started playing, I watched it sort of completely hypnotized and also confused and disturbed.
It's like you can't
'Cause it's-
stop watching it, but you know that you
But
can't
it's-
figure it out. It's like, what
I thought it was a
is-
parody. I thought it was SNL. So I was like, oh, is that Kyle guy in this? Like, where's,
Yeah,
when is when is Cecily Strong going to pop up and be like, all right, guys, like, great, thanks for performing at the Tiny Desk concert.
Stop that, Cecily.
And I was like,
that's Cecily impression.
and then I was like, wait, is that real? And she was like, yeah, it's real as hell. And I completely forgot about it. I couldn't be bothered to learn about it because, as you said, it was gobbledygook and I needed to kick it out of my brain. Then suddenly people start talking about him again this week because he has not gone away. So his name is Frank Lopez Jr. His whole story is really short and succinct. Every single thing written about him has the exact same bullet
It's like
points,
he
which is
lived in his car.
he got kicked out of his house because he got into a fight with his dad. So he kicked out of his house. He lived in his Corolla. He showered at the 24-hour fitness, and he worked at a pizza place until he decided to quit and focus on music.
So he kind of has that Jewel beginning. Remember when everyone was like, the only thing
yeah.
that anyone ever knew about Jewel was like that she once lived in her car, and she was from Alaska. Anyways, continue.
So instead of a knight without armor, he's a knight without a melody, right?
God.
Is that good?
I mean, no.
Still spelled K-N-I-G-H-T.
Yeah.
No, but she spelled it N-I-G-H-T.
I'm
What was the
sorry I
pun
even
there?
took us to this direction. You need to
Yeah.
step back.
Anyway, so he makes this music. Let's play part of it now because you can't.
Yeah, I'm playing it.
Hi, what's your name? How are you? How's your life? Oh, you got a man. Are you in love? If so, a type. Is it just platonic, strictly just as friends, or the type that ties you two together till tomorrow's end? If it is, disregard every time I call you pretty. Though it's meant sincerely, it's just my imagination drifting. Brush me off like the dirt on Jay-Z's shoulder, so I fall to ground, collect myself, and get ready to take over your heart. Or at least your spare time.
It's Macklemore like meets Odd Future meets like Bright Eyes to me.
Meets like a pretty decent public school in the suburbs.
Sure. But like it just reminds me, the lyrics are like what I would listen to when I was like into Dashboard Confessional or like kind of those types of bands. But the style is Macklemore. Like the way that he rhymes is kind of like, or his flow is Macklemore.
Like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not necessarily rhymes, but it is that. It's a
But
Macklemore
it's a
flow.
Macklemore.
But he's also a sad boy. And he's a sad boy. And it's sort of emo.
Right.
So
but then the
it's
yelling and like the bros and the friends and the pals and the crew remind me of like Odd Future.
Like Odd Future, yeah.
That's like, which is actually kind of what Larry compares him to, but not like musically. He's just more saying like the buzz artist of like, he's like, there's Odd Future, Lana Del Rey, PC Music. This is like the new buzz guy.
Yeah, so it is. It's like you were saying. It's sort of like, oh, we're just going to ignore him. He's going to go away.
I would add
But,
Brockhampton
like,
to that because Brockhampton is also something we've never talked about, but is a very buzzy artist that I don't understand.
But let's go back 6 years when Lana Del Rey bursts onto the scene and everyone's immediately like, people older than us are probably like, who is this woman?
I know.
she's a mess, but we were standing her. Six people who are 6 years younger than us are like, oh, this guy fucking rules. He's going to be huge. And I feel like they know what they're talking about. Anyway, Lindsay, this is my bit that I told you I planned. I was like, Lindsay, I did a bit.
Oh, I thought the bit
I
was
planned a bit.
like, I thought the bit was like when we were talking in the intro and you said sleeps. You were like, 3 more sleeps or something to Rita.
Oh, no.
Or you have
this
like
is
a
my bit.
full bit.
Lindsay, this is my bit.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me load it. This is my bit. It might be a failure. You might have to cut this. I hate Donald Trump, but I love you. And loving is fun, and so are you. And loving you is even more fun. Because you're the most fun person I've ever met. And fun is more fun than loneliness. Fuck loneliness. I hate loneliness. But do you know what I love? You. And you know what I like? Netflix. And I like when we watch Netflix together. I like when movies make me cry, but I don't like crying when I'm sad. Just when I'm crying at my laptop screen. My Acer Chromebook laptop screen. With you. Watching Sabrina. The new one. The dark one. Not all of it, but most of it. I love you more than I love Kiernan Shipka. But here's my confession. Please don't leave. I don't love you more than I love Miranda Otto.
Is this
Miranda Otto.
Is this what you wrote?
I don't love you more than I love Miranda Otto. She was so great on Homeland. Let's watch that season again. My two loves, you and Miranda Otto. That's my Hobo Johnson rap, Lindsay.
At first, I thought that was real. I thought you were like reading his lyrics and performing it. I was like, wow, your bit is that you learned the song. Like, that's incredible. And then you said Miranda Otto. I was like so convinced that was something you wrote.
Well, that's the thing about Hobo Johnson. It sounds like a joke, but it's fully not a joke. And I think that's the best way to describe. To adult, it sounds like a joke, right? Right. Sounds like a joke.
I just love that you. Never mind. Yeah, like that.
There's
could
really
be a
nothing
hit.
else to say.
Was that
There's really
a
nothing else
Hobo
to say
Johnson
about him.
beat? Like that was something that he raps
Well,
over, or you just found.
I googled. There was a Hobo Johnson type beat. Is the name of this video.
So also this kind of when you just performed that beautiful thing, that is like slam poetry set to music, very much.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Whoa.
it felt very.
Not quite as thoughtful as slam poetry.
I mean, I mean, Miranda Otto would agree to disagree.
He I'm in Larry's corner. I do. The more I think about it and the more I watch it, like it is sort of it's unique. It's unique-ish.
Of course it is.
And it's strange.
But you
and
have
he's
to
got that like normcore look
Yeah.
about him. And I think that the teens, I mean, he's like a jewel came to life, you know?
I agree, but I do feel like you have to fight as a person older than 30, we both have to like fight all our like internal instinct to like push ourselves to like listen and appreciate something like this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. And it's taken months for me to do that.
It's like an understanding. It's like
Right,
like a complacency that you're like, I'm gonna like put myself in a place where I can like maybe think that this is good or figure out
And
what
I'm there
about
now.
it is good. I know. Well, you just wrote a masterpiece.
It's called Miranda Otto.
I got it. Let's move on.
So this is sad, but it's funny, and it is Who behavior in.
It's not sad.
It's cat of Who behavior. I mean, he's trying to make it seem sad. I feel like he's gonna be fine. So this is the headline. Let's read the headline. Frankie Muniz reveals, what did he reveal? Home flooded while he was at funeral because his cat turned on faucet. This is on People on Sunday evening.
I guess I'm sad because of the funeral, sure. Like, that is sad. But, like, Frankie Muniz being like, my home flooded because my cat turned on my faucet.
So he tweeted, I arrived home from my uncle's funeral to find 4 of my 5-story brownstone home under 3 feet of water. I guess that means 4 stories were under 3 feet of water,
like,
which sounds...
Not like it was the full up to the 4th floor. That's what I first thought. But that doesn't make any sense.
Which sounds like that's impossible.
Why?
You can't get 3 feet of water on the
4
other
floors, I
stories.
know.
You can only get 3 feet of water on the bottom
I know.
floor.
We don't need to fact check his story.
Anyway, he says, everything I own destroyed. Every wall, piece of artwork, personal photos, furniture. All because my cat accidentally turned on a sink a few days ago while we were gone. Also, how long did he leave that cat alone? Frankie, get a cat sitter. I'm devastated and exhausted from a tough week with the loss of my Uncle Skip. 45 hours to and from France to walk in and find this disaster. I've cried more yesterday and today than my whole life combined. Forgive me for venting. I just need some support.
Okay, now I feel bad for saying
No,
that
it's very sad.
It
No, it's
wasn't
sad.
sad. It's sad. That is sad.
It's sad.
That is
so
sad.
we tweeted this, and immediately after we tweet it, some hooligan immediately is just like, didn't this happen to Busy Phillips? And then Busy Phillips responds, yes, it did, but it wasn't a funeral.
And then I found the tweet, and it's in August of 2017, Busy tweeted, my cat turned on a faucet and flooded my downstairs closet today, which proves either Mercury is in retrograde or is real, or they are assholes. Which is, I didn't know that cats could do this, but I did know that cats could flush the toilet because I've seen a lot of those videos, so I guess they can.
You've seen a lot of those videos?
I love when cats pee in the toilet. You've never watched those videos when people train their cats to pee in the toilet?
I've considered training them, but it's a lot of work, and also, like, my cats
Your
will
cats
not
will
care.
never pee in the toilet. Are you
They'll be like,
kidding
are
me?
you out of your mind?
Also, your
they would
toilet
literally
would
say, are
be
you out of your mind?
trashed if your cat started just using it. Are you kidding?
Did you see the follow-up tweet was, I guess he moved to a hotel when his apartment flooded, home was flooded, and so he says, just woke up to fire alarms and had to evacuate the hotel we are staying in because of what happened to our house. This has been an eventful week. I feel for Frankie.
Sure.
I feel for Frankie. I think this is very sad. He has a girlfriend who is, his rock in all of this and kind of keeping him okay.
Thank God he has a
as he
rock.
deals with all of this. What's her name? Paige something.
I don't know.
But there's no way to say this without being shady, so I can't even provide a disclaimer. I want photos.
You don't believe that it's actually flooded?
It's not that I don't believe it.
I'm just saying, if he launches like a GoFundMe, you can demand photos. Otherwise,
No, I think Frankie's doing okay. I think Frankie has the money, and
all those reruns.
All those reruns, yeah.
A lot of reruns.
And also, he's not like a messy former child star. Like, he's just a guy who's around. He's not like he doesn't have a narrative around his story that's like Frankie squanders his money. If anything, Frankie probably
we've talked about him before.
Yeah, and he does a lot of charity work, whatever.
Great.
I think Frankie's fine. This sucks, but I just want to see photos. That's
okay.
all
That's
I'm
fine.
saying.
You can demand photos from Frankie.
If my
on
cats
Twitter.
turned on the faucet and my apartment got destroyed, I would sob. Yes, I would cry, just like Frankie said he cried harder than he's ever cried. But I would also take photos.
Which cat
take
would
photos.
be the one to do that, do you think?
Winnie. Oh, Winnie would do it. POTUS would be asleep. POTUS doesn't.
POTUS
doesn't
get
first of all,
covered in water and just be like,
First of all,
what?
POTUS doesn't climb things. POTUS lies down. Winnie is constantly on top of everything. POTUS is like, I'm old and tired.
Oh, POTUS.
So Winnie would definitely do it. Let's move on.
Life is unfair.
Lindsay, the holidays are coming up. Have you bought all your gifts yet?
We're not really like a gift-giving family, but I mean, I'm being very honest with you. No, I haven't really bought any gifts yet.
If you want to surprise someone, as someone who's not really a gift-giving family, have you thought about the Quip?
Isn't that kind of like a rude gift to give someone a toothbrush? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Because when you think of a perfect gift, you don't probably think about an electric toothbrush because
No,
it's
I don't.
weird. But everyone will love it. Because also, everyone loves the Quip, and everyone who comes to our apartments, respectively, is always like, "Oh, I've been meaning to get the Quip. Is the Quip actually good?"
It's
the
true
Quip is good.
because, it's like a luxury item because it's like toothbrushes are a dime a dozen. It's like I get a toothbrush anywhere, but the Quip is something special. And sometimes you're like, maybe you're nervous to treat yourself. Maybe you're nervous to like upgrade your system.
What you could do is give them the Quip before the holidays because then they can travel with it.
Oh, right. And then you send them up and you're like, not only am I getting you the Quip, but I'm getting you like free toothpaste and heads for like for however long.
I know. So in addition to getting those wonderful sonic vibrations that like clean your gums and your teeth, it makes your travels clean and easy because you can use the cover when you're traveling, put it in your Dopp kit, whatever, and then you can stick it on the mirror at your parents' house when you're there for the holidays.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
Very bold. Just sticking it on your parents' mirror.
I think the Quip is a great gift, and I think anyone who gets a Quip will be happy. But you don't have to trust me. They have over 5,000 verified 5-star reviews, and it looks like a big ticket tech gift, but it has a stocking stuffer price. I love that. And it starts at just $25. If you go to getquip.com/who right now, you'll get your first refill pack for free. You don't have to tell them that you got it for free, by the way. With a Quip electric toothbrush, that's your first refill pack for free. You don't have to tell them that at getquip.com/who.
Bobby, listening to a new podcast recently? I always like asking what podcast you're listening to because it's always like some true crime thing, some crazy thing that you found. But I just feel like you always got something.
Well, of course I always have something. And yes, and it's a podcast that I've been listening to. It doesn't matter. It's called Please Advise. You listen to it too, don't you?
Oh, it's the Molly McAleer
Yes.
podcast.
It's the Advice podcast where Molly McAleer, aka Malls, aka like OG Hooligan, aka like OG Blogger, and a guest tear into listener questions they have no business giving advice on. There's no topic they won't answer a question about, which leads to candid conversations and lots of laughs.
They've had podcast guests that honestly we need on our show. Like, I'm actually a little bit jealous. She's spoken to Kelly Oxford, Lizzo, Jerry O'Connell, and Tom and Katie from my favorite show, Vanderpump Rules.
Jerry O'Connell, come on the show. So if you're a
Never,
Bravoholic,
he'll never do it.
Is there no celebrity relationship you can't find a way to overanalyze? What about Christian YouTube vloggers? Oh my God, cryptocurrency or true crime? Because somehow most of the advice they give winds up getting back to topics like that.
Also, just like Who Weekly, 619 Who Them, the biggest part of Please Advise is that people can call in and get their questions answered. So you can literally call into Malls, ask her your questions.
And new episodes come out on Wednesdays. You can listen on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Please advise. Lindsay, what is the worst gift you've ever gotten?
Oh my God, you're putting me on the
This
spot.
is improv. I'm putting you on the spot. What's the worst gift you've ever gotten?
Maybe something when I was a kid. Oh, okay, I know what it is. This is so stupid. But you know, like for like Hanukkah, there are like 8 days.
Yeah,
So
yes,
that's like,
I'm aware.
So there's like, that's like a lot of days to get a gift. You're supposed to get a gift every single day. But like, because
It's like some of them are going to be losers.
some of them are going to be losers, but they also like go along with other gifts. So one year, my mom thought it'd be really funny if she got us like the batteries as a day.
So you got the batteries before you got the electronic
No,
thing?
I don't remember, and I think if she'll probably hear this and she'll like call and correct me, but I'm pretty sure we got a gift without the batteries, and then we had to wait for the batteries or something. Like
Oh.
it was like one day was just batteries.
That's such a classic mom move. I
Yeah,
love that.
because she was like, I'm not getting you like 8 presents. Like that's insane. So like we got good present, and then we got like batteries one day. But then it was just like funny because we're both sitting there, me and my brother, opening up gifts that are just batteries. What's the worst gift you've ever gotten?
It was at a birthday party when I was like 7. It was like my 7th or 8th birthday party. And like, it's like, you know, your parents invite your classmates over, but like, I didn't really have any friends, but like, they weren't like, cool. I mean, I had friends, but it's like, I had like 2 good friends, but then like everyone else was just a classmate. And so like, someone brought me a football. It may have been my 10th birthday, but I was like, oh, thank you. I never. It was literally a football.
I can just see you opening it up. It's like a football shaped package, and you're like, what can this be? Praying it's not a football.
It was a football. So the reason we're talking about this is because we have to think of good gifts because the holidays are starting. A good gift that will never make you mad is a tin of cookies from Mrs. Fields.
Also, who doesn't love cookies? It's like giving someone air. It's like everyone breathes. Here's some air. Thank you.
For over 40 years, Mrs. Fields has made delicious treats like their signature chocolate chip cookies to handcrafted frosted favorites to melt-in-your-mouth brownies. And Mrs. Fields gourmet gift tins, we got sent one. They're so much fun. There's so many good things. And then I have one of the brownies already. They're so good. They have like cute little
I'm so
wreath-looking cookies.
jealous. Ugh.
Shut up. I'll bring you some.
Okay.
And baskets. They make the perfect present to surprise and delight anyone on your list this season.
Also, think of all the fun things you can store in your tin once you're done eating the cookies.
Reduce, reuse, recycle. At Mrs. Fields, their cookies and sweets are baked daily and always arrive fresh and flavorful. Ordering is easy. They ship your gift anywhere across the United States. Plus, you can add a personal touch with a custom message, company logo, or family photo. Your parents would love this, or like someone close to you would love it. Mrs. Fields even offers a 100% customer satisfaction guarantee, which is very sweet. This year, send a fresh baked gift no one can resist. Right now, get 20% off your order when you go to mrsfields.com and enter promo code WHO, WHO. That is 20% off any gift at mrsfields.com, promo code WHO. mrsfields.com, promo code WHO. It's better than a football.
This is my favorite story of the week. I love it.
It's my favorite story of the week. There's no better story.
I'm so happy that it happened. We haven't heard from Tamar Braxton in a while, but like this is the right way to be hearing from her. I didn't know that Snoop Dogg was doing a play. I'm thrilled to know. So basically, Snoop Dogg is doing a play, a stage play.
It's autobiographical.
This is Snoop Dogg is doing a play called Redemption of a Dog. And then he has like a whole cast of characters, including Snoop, Tamar Braxton, Omar Gooding, Eric Benet, Lil JJ, don't know who that is, LaToya London, I do know who that is, Vincent Ward, Mike Strong, Demetria McKinney, I don't know who that is. Anyways, a bunch of people, okay?
Okay.
So Tamar is billed second on this poster. She's
on the poster. The only people on the poster are Snoop and Tamar.
So I guess they were performing this play.
It's been traveling. I think this incident happened in DC, but it's been around.
DC, okay, that's what I wanted to know.
It's been in Houston. It was in Houston before. I've seen posters for it like all around, but I think this one happened in DC.
So the Daily Mail had exclusive, quote, "Where's Tamar? How Tamar Braxton threw a hissy fit and refused to return to stage in Snoop Dogg's musical after the intermission because her food delivery didn't make it backstage." So then there's this whole story where Tamar did the first half of the musical and then she went backstage and I guess her food was not delivered in time. So she refused to go back on stage for the second part. So they replaced her.
She straight up left.
She just left. So they replaced her with someone and everybody was like, "Where's Tamar?" Like people were like, "Where's Tamar?" So
Yes.
And then someone came out from the play and said, quote, "Please, it's important that we pray for her. This is a very vulnerable time, so please just pray for her. She's sorry she couldn't be here for this curtain call, but she did get a chance to be here for you, and she did the best she could." So, like, that's interesting because, like, that's all, like, kind of a lie, as it turns out.
Yeah, so it's sort of like what happened, and we know exactly what happened now because a very popular Instagram and just like general internet celebrity named Lonnie B provided us with a full rundown of what happened.
Well, what's great is
the Performing Arts Center in DC.
So it was like, okay, update. Here's a video saying from this person saying what actually happened, and you would think that the video would kind of get her out of the like, oh, she left because of the food thing, but he just confirms that she left because of the food thing. Like he basically is like telling their side of the story, him and Damar's, like his friend, but he just proves that that is the truth.
So this guy, his name is Lonnie B. He lives in DC. He's like a DC internet personality. He's famous in DC because in the story he talks about like he was talking to one of the people who was backstage at the Performing Arts show, and the guy was like, "Oh, my girlfriend loves your videos. Like my girlfriend and I watch your videos together." For sure. He's a very like he's sort of like a radio DJ category of personality where he's very famous in the city that he's from, but like no one outside knows him.
Wait, did you just hear me gasp? He took the video down. The video's removed.
He took the video down. Wait, did you download it before?
No.
Fuck, did you download it before?
But somebody definitely grabbed it.
Oh, no.
Well, I watched it like 4 times, so I can tell you what happened.
Okay, so he records this 11-minute video. Fortunately, I only watched it once all the way through, but I did watch it all the way through. And he tells this story. First, he's an expert storyteller, of course, because he's a DJ. And he tells this story. Basically, Tamar wanted him to come by, their friends. Tamar wanted him to come by and bring her, a sandwich? Like
yeah,
some sort
no,
of
I forget. It was
food.
like a specific, like...
It was a specific type of food.
And, Tamar people said, "Hey, Lonnie, Tamar's looking for a good curry out. Okay? She don't want that fancy shit, bitch. She want a good ghetto sandwich, bitch." I say, "Ooh, a steak and cheese."
So he picks it up and he's like, "I have other things to do, but it's fine." He's like, "I guess I can get there before you go on." But he gets there right in time. They let him into backstage. The guy at the backstage door recognizes him because of like he just knew who he was, and so he's like, "Yeah, come in. What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm here to say Tamar, my friend. I'm bringing her a sandwich." And the guy's like, "Of course, come in. Wait for her back here." And then like Snoop's bodyguard is there, and he's like talking to everyone, and they're like, "Yeah, Tamar will be right out. We'll let you in a second." And he's like, 10 minutes pass, 15 minutes pass, 25 minutes pass. All this time passes. He never goes backstage, and then suddenly there's a ruckus.
So as soon as I get in the car, they text me, "Tamar's assistant. Tamar's going off back here." I said, "Oh shit, what happened?" She said, "She can't believe he didn't let you in." I said, "Oh, well, tell her don't go off too much. Okay, because, that's her job. And I don't want her to lose her job because the gay man couldn't get in."
And Tamar has left. Or Tamar is angry and Tamar has left. he finds out that Tamar left because it wasn't that, as the Daily Mail reported, that she did not get her sandwich. It was because they did not let him backstage, and he is her friend. And she was mad at the people at this venue for disrespecting her friend.
Guess what? I found the video.
You found it?
Yeah.
But when we watched it, it only had like 7,000 views.
I know. So that's what I'm so curious. Last night, because I screenshotted the title of the video, which is, "Thank you, Tamar Braxton. I appreciate you, and I'm glad everything worked out. Sincerely, Lonnie B." It had 7,181 views last night. Okay. My favorite thing about this video, though, is like that he like got the call like the night of, and she's like, "Are you in town?" Like, "I'm in town. Like, I want to see you." And he's like, "I'm a busy person, but like,
yeah."
I agreed
He's like, I had so many things to do this night.
But he's like, "I agreed to give my friend a sandwich."
So let me fucking tell y'all what happened, girl. Sit down. Sit the fuck on down. As I'm getting ready, I get a phone call. It was from Tamar people. Hit me up. "Hey, Lonnie, what you doing? Tamar want to see you. She's in town." I said, "Okay, well, I got other things to do. How long is she going to be here?" I said, "Okay, well, if I can squeeze it in, I will."
It's such a good video. And he's like, "I'm sorry, I can't describe, like, we'll put this in the newsletter for all of you that support our Patreon, but you can also, I mean, maybe find it too." But he's sitting on a very comfy couch right in front of these iconic, definitely signs from like Marshalls or like Finally in Space or
like
TJ
World
Maxx
Market.
That are like, "You can do it, like, believe in yourself." I think one says
his entire wall is filled with like family is everything, like love, live happiness.
Right, like those types of signs. And then at the end, he sips from a mug that just says "mug of tea" on it, like Game of Thrones.
He has this gigantic mug that says mug of tea, but he sips out of it through most of it. He adds a lot of punctuation sips. Like he's no amateur.
Like he's sipping, like actively sipping as he's.
But did you watch more? Did you watch more of his videos?
No.
Because he has his house is covered in those signs.
Wait,
I think that's sort of his like shtick. His house is covered in signs.
I love those signs.
And some of them have his name on them. Anyway, so my favorite thing about this story, though, is that you're watching it for 11 minutes and you're like, okay, like what is the moral of the story? Why, if Tamar is his friend, why is he telling this long story that's like honestly sort of shady towards her, because it does sort of make her seem like a lunatic?
It was taken down because when I was watching it, I was like, this story just proves what the Daily Mail is reporting.
Right. So it just adds more. It adds more context to it. So it's sort of like, why is he's shading his friend, sort of, but then the end of the video, he like introduces the moral of the story, or like his takeaway from the story. So after 11 minutes of explaining that basically Tamar ruined his evening because he had other plans. Tamar ruined his evening and then made international headlines. He says, but I thought about it and I respect her. I respect Tamar for that.
She jeopardized her placement in that play, all because she felt like I was mistreated. And I respect her for that. She went the fuck off for me, because I would have did the same for her.
Right.
She did all of this out of friendship. This was all because of friendship, and I respect her. I respect her. I respect her. I respect her. I was like, okay, I guess that's one way of interpreting it, but it's still, that is so insanely unprofessional to throw a fit. And so everyone thought that he was just some delivery man, and she was offended that they thought that he was just some delivery man and not her friend. And so he's like, why didn't anyone ask me who I was?
They just weren't expecting her to call some friend and make them bring her a sandwich.
The moment it started, I was like, I can't turn this off. Lonnie B. You can follow him on Instagram. I am Lonnie B. He's also on YouTube, and he does like live shows in DC.
I can't get it. I gotta go.
Moving on. We have really quick relationship news to get through. Let's just like bullet point a few of these relationship thingies.
Sure.
One of them, Amanda Knox, is engaged.
Is she a them? Yeah.
Yeah, she's a true crime them.
So who
Absolutely.
is her new husband?
This guy named Christopher Robinson, who's just no one. Who's no one.
It's weird that they got married along to the ET soundtrack, right?
They got engaged while the ET soundtrack was playing.
Yeah.
And she was wearing Harry Potter pajamas when it all happened. There's video of this. You can watch it. And in case you're wondering, no, Christopher Robin is not her Italian boyfriend. It's a completely different person.
Well, thank God.
You said who cares for this? I care. So really quickly, Teddy Geiger, who we've talked about, and Emily Hampshire are now engaged. She's Stevie Budd in Schitt's Creek, and that's fun. Mm-hmm. Moving on, the most important relationship news of the week. Haley Baldwin is now Haley Bieber on Instagram.
Excuse you, she's Haley Road Bieber, as we talked about, as in Rhode Island.
As in the island. Haley Road like the island. Imagine Haley on the phone with customer service.
Road, as in the island.
Haley, Hailey, Road like the island, and Bieber as in Justin.
That's like when you stick up your finger when you're like, finger, Bobby, and you like hold up your finger.
Yeah, I say like on a hand. You have to say like on a hand because otherwise people think you're saying singer. I don't understand why this was a story. Who cares if she accidentally followed a Selena Gomez fan account?
Hilarious. What do you mean who cares?
Explain this.
Haley Bieber. I mean, I guess that's what we're doing now. This was right before this. This was this week. What are you so shocked by? You okay?
Just hearing her name is...
I'm sorry. Haley Bieber. And what's funny about Haley Bieber is it sounds like, you know when stan accounts call themselves the name of the last name of the person they're standing, where they're like,
yeah.
I'm like Lindsay Elgort, like my fan account, like Lindsay Elgort.
Stop
whatever.
It. No,
like,
stop it.
Lindsay Elgort is the worst. Okay. So basically, Haley Baldwin was clearly looking at photos of Selena Gomez because she was looking at a Selena Gomez fan account and she accidentally followed it. Tell me that's not interesting and a little funny.
I mean, I guess that's not interesting. The interesting thing is that she decided to send a message that said, "Hey, followed you by accident. So sorry."
So then she gracefully unfollowed the Selena Gomez fan account. Come on, everyone's guilty of this. I just love thinking about Haley Bieber like looking at Instagrams of her now husband's ex-girlfriend. Come on.
Yeah,
and getting caught by the stands, by all of the Gomenators.
Haley, these famous people should know by now. Do your searching on the Finsta. You do your searching on the Finsta.
Like,
that's
you
it.
should be.
What was she thinking?
She should be skilled at that by
because
now.
Honestly, her Finsta wouldn't have mattered because it would have been a name that's like Olivia 3. I'm just looking at movie posters in my room, thinking of names like Olivia something. Like a fake name.
So let's move on. I know you don't. I thought that was really fun.
What else is happening?
Okay, I love this story because another fave, Armie Hammer. Armie Hammer spoke some truths and got into deep shit.
Because
the earnest police
Armie Hammer didn't understand, yes, that Twitter is run by the earnest police. So even if you have a good point, you cannot make good points if they compete with Smarm.
Armie
you
Hammer's
cannot compete.
PR.
You can't compete.
Gotta call on the red phone.
You can't compete with Smarm on Twitter. Smarm will always win. Armie Hammer should know this by now, but he does not.
It's true. Like, I respect Armie for speaking his truth, but you can't.
Armie, this is for the back channel. There was a really good, let me actually read
Armie
this.
needs to join a fucking Slack.
Exactly. So this is a tweet from Who Weekly Stan and friend Sarah Miller. Did you see this tweet last night? Friends don't, quote, call you on your shit. Friends make jokes behind your back like fucking adults.
Thank you.
Armie Hammer needs to understand this.
Also, Armie, you can still be like people on their cool Hollywood boy. You can just like do this more gracefully, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I do respect this because he did say something that like he knew like it was so obvious that he was going to get in trouble for, but is so true and real, and something that we always talk about, which is this performative mourning shit.
Performative mourning, which is it's a social media phenomenon. This did not exist before Facebook. It didn't exist before then.
Stan Lee brought out some of the most ridiculous performative mourning I've ever seen in my life.
Name dropping is tale as old as time. Telling stories at a dinner party, like when a famous person dies, it's like, oh, well, I met him once. But sharing photos with the hopes of going viral is brand new. And Armie hates it.
Say there is a difference. Yes, it is a slight difference and a thin line that you need to decide for yourself between like telling a story about somebody and if you met them or if you worked with them and having the story be about them, but you know, an experience you had with them, right? But just sharing a selfie of you and Stan Lee,
miss you,
being like, what a legend, like miss you, like that is what Armie Hammer was saying. And his tweet was specifically, let me read it before, as we've like paraphrased him. And this is supposed to be sarcastic, I believe. So touched by all the celebrities posting pictures of themselves with Stan Lee. No better way to commemorate an absolute legend than putting up a picture of yourself. I love this tweet.
I completely agree.
Like,
also,
thank you, Army. I'm out here being like, yes, Army. Like, I finally stand. Like, I stand.
But the moment I read it, I was like,
right. But that's why I was like, also charmed.
You
by
don't
it.
say that online. There are plenty of things that are
Right.
true that you cannot say online.
So later he said people were responding to him, and some people were like, yes, right on, but some people were like, Army, uh-oh, don't do it. And he wrote, if your answer is post a selfie, then I think we need a cultural revamp across the board, which I don't love because it's a little holier than thou, but like he's right about the people that he mingles with on a daily basis. His fellow Hollywood elite are the ones
Like Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
like So Jeffrey
Hollywood elite, member of the Hollywood elite, Jeffrey Dean
So
Morgan.
none other than candy shop owner Jeffrey Dean Morgan responds. Jeffrey Dean Morgan of the candy shop responds and says, looks like you found a way to use others' ways of mourning and their memories to draw some attention to yourself. You sound like a real asshat. So he's flipping the script. Flipping the
He
script
is.
on Armie Hammer and saying, well, now it's about you, isn't it, you piece of shit? Honestly, anytime a celebrity does anything, it becomes about them. So it's not like quite his fault.
Honestly, Jeffrey, by tweeting, you made it about yourself too.
Exactly. So now it's about
And
you.
Jeffrey knew that. Jeffrey knew that this was going to happen. So he's just as guilty as Armie.
Right.
But that's not how Twitter works.
Right.
Blah, 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 blah.
So
the best thing about this is that
then-
Armie apologized via notes.
Right. So then Armie gets a phone call from his publicist. 45 publicists call Armie Hammer and are like, Armie, pull out that notes app. Armie, pull out the notes app. You know what? They probably were like, we're going to send you the notes app. We already wrote it for you.
Armie, we airdropped you a notes app. Yes, I'm in the other room. We airdropped you a notes app. Please share this immediately.
So then Armie tweets, notes app screenshot, while attempting to provide some unnecessary social commentary about the current selfie culture. I, parentheses, in true asshat form, thank you, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, quote, which I think is more sarcastic than it is nice, inadvertently offended many who were genuinely grieving the loss of a true icon. I want to apologize from the bottom of my heart and will be working on my Twitter impulse control. God. Armie.
He's
I stand.
I stand too.
I stand.
It's
This does it
disgusting
for
that I
me.
stand.
No, this does it for me.
It's disgusting that I stand, but I stand.
Wait, what do you mean it's disgusting?
Because he just seems like a very like pathetically like woke, like hunky straight white dude. And it's like, God, like he should have like alarm bells on him. But I'm just like, you know what? I'll put earplugs in because I'm here.
I just love this. He was right. So many of these people were like looking through their, iCloud photo rolls for like a picture of them that they took on set with Stan Lee like 45 years ago. I'm just saying he's right. It adds to like it's a meaningless tribute. It's a meaningless tribute. You bet Josh Gad was in this crowd. I'm just saying. Before we move on. You bet Josh Gad was like number one to post that selfie. Okay. Do we need to talk about this? These are just two updates I liked. Two updates.
Let's do them quickly.
Two updates. One was, remember the Adam Pally Shorties Awards?
Where he like dragged Shorty Awards at the Shorty Awards.
Yeah, it was kind of weird and like unexpected, but also like kind of like interesting and worth noting. My favorite part was I guess he did a Vulture Festival event in LA and they talked a little bit about that. And this was like what was revealed, which cracked me up. Patty revealed that singer Betty who dragged him away from the mic mid-rant, was not actually sent by Shorty Awards producers, but rather a drunk observer who took it upon herself to intervene. In parentheses, if you're wondering why Betty Who was at the Shorty Awards, she was presenting the In Memoriam segment. Oh, amazing. Pally remarked, as they got off stage, security guards quickly pulled Who away, which is with a capital Who, which makes her look like they're calling her Who, but her name is Betty Who, don't forget, away. And he was suddenly removed by the Queer Eye guys, who briefly made him feel like a hero before a second security detail showed up to escort Pally and his wife out of the building. I love it. So Betty Who had to act as security guard.
He got escorted out of the building. I didn't realize he actually got kicked out after that.
That's funny because that's like, it was a real.
Remember, people thought that may have been a publicity stunt. What's this Rebel Wilson thing?
This is another update. Remember when Rebel Wilson sued Bauer Media in Australia? Because they were like,
when she won,
saying that she was a different age. Or they were saying that she was saying that she was different age.
They were saying that she lied. They were saying that she lied about her
Remember when
age.
she won and we were like, lol, she won. So she won 4.7 million Australian dollars, but then that sum was reduced to 600 600,000 Australian dollars on appeal. So they actually did not have to pay her that much money. Although I don't really know, what is Australian dollars? Are they more or less? Less? That's like,
I don't know. I think that's like 50 cents in America, right?
wow, rude to Australians. Anyways, she tweeted, "It's been a long journey in the Australian courts these past years, and I am glad the matter is now at a definite end. I have been determined to stand up to a bully, and I am proud of myself for doing so. To win such a huge case and receive $600,000 Australian in damages from Bauer Media." So I guess Rebel Wilson gets $600,000 for lying about her age, but then like lying about her age. I forget the story.
I've already forgotten it too. Honestly, Rebel Wilson is on everyone's shit list right now.
Really? So she
saying
really
that
shouldn't be tweeting about this.
We haven't talked about it, but like Rebel Wilson tried to
sucks.
con America, to con the world into thinking she was the first like plus size woman to ever star in a romantic comedy, and she completely erased like Queen Latifah.
That was like my favorite thing.
She's out. And Monique.
Has anyone has a mass of people ever yelled Queen Latifah at somebody louder than like this past week when Rebel Wilson like forgot about Queen Latifah? Queen Latifah like had her
and then
best
she was
week
like,
ever.
and she was like, well, that doesn't count. It's like, do you remember the 2000s? How many when Queen Latifah was like the biggest like female star?
Yeah,
in
haven't
the
you
movies? She
seen
was in
Last
everything.
Holiday? God. I'm sorry I brought
she
up
is
Rebel.
bad.
I'm sorry
She's
I brought
bad.
her up.
I don't know.
That movie looks
She's
like
bad.
shit.
I will not try to be diplomatic here. She sucks.
She
Rebel
sucks.
Wilson sucks.
She sucks.
So
she's an
goodbye.
enemy. She's an enemy.
She's an enemy, and she's an enemy of the podcast. It's time to talk about Rita.
What was she wearing? Where was she seen? She posted what on Instagram? She's the Who Queen. Tens of people want to know all about the number one Who. Lindsay, Bobby, tell us now. What's Rita Ora up to?
Who is this woman?
So
Rita's album is out on Friday. I kind of don't even know what to do. It's been such a long time coming. I'm like anxious. I'm scared.
her first album, her debut album in the United States.
What are we gonna do? Are we gonna like listen to it? Like, what are we gonna do?
Well, I as I said earlier, it's like technically 2 more sleeps, but it's really 3 more sleeps, but it's really just 2 more sleeps because we can listen to it at midnight without sleeping.
But also, like, you're not gonna. We have an episode on Friday, but like we recorded on Thursday, so like we're not gonna have the album for that. We're gonna do our Christmas episode. We're gonna have to wait till Tuesday to talk about the Rita album, and in that time we have to like figure out a plan.
Well, that's actually okay because we want to be able to actually consider that. We don't want to do this impulsively. We want to do this thoughtfully. This is the first time she's released an album since we started the podcast. That's huge. So we really do need to give this time. But it comes out in a few days. We should all listen to it.
I have a few ideas.
Stream it as much as you can.
I have a few ideas for what we should do with it. We should do something. We should drag it out.
Yeah.
I have a few ideas. I think we should do a song a week.
Aren't there like 30 songs on this?
Yeah.
I guess that's fine.
Well, we have a lot of time. We have a lot of
so
weeks.
we focus on one song a week. Do we focus on the songs that have already been released? Do we focus
Yes.
on your songs?
Every
we
week
do.
gets a song.
I love this. And it's just this headline. Rita Ora shows off her quirky sense of style in bejeweled chaps, all caps, chaps, as she flashes a glimpse of thigh during London Night Out. I've never seen
Chaps?
thigh cleavage like this. It literally looks like cleavage.
Right, like you zoom into her thighs and it looks like 2 boobs.
It looks like 2 boobs. When you zoom in, it looks like you're taking a photo of 2 boobs.
It's funny
I've
because
never
it's
seen
like
it.
one of those like trick photos where like somebody folds their arm so it looks like their armpit fat is like the boobs.
Yeah.
But this one is like it zooms out and it's like, oh, still her thigh is very alluring. Like it's still alluring, you know?
It's still alluring.
Like
I just like that she's found new ways to give us cleavage. I've never seen
cleavage
this.
of her thighs.
I'm impressed by this. Also, she wore. Did you see this?
Yes.
She wore a dramatic feather dress at Evening Standard Theater Awards. Who cares? I don't even know what
Why was she at the Evening Standard Theater Awards?
Why was she there? Why did she wear a dramatic feather dress? I don't know. But the source is FN. What does FN stand for? Footwearnews.com.
So
but
but they didn't even talk about her shoes.
No, they didn't. They talked about her dramatic feathered dress.
Also, I sent you this morning, but she went on Radio 1, and usually you perform a cover. And Rita, not to be outdone, she performed like a mashup of Charlie Puth's Attention mixed with Estelle's American Boy. And let me tell you, I love a mashup, but this is not the one. Sorry, like, I'm just being honest. It's not the one.
Play it here.
I really want to come kick it with you. You'll be my American boy, American boy. You don't want my heart, baby. You just hate the thought of me with someone new.
Are we gonna see her?
Oh my
live?
God. Oh,
On her tour?
I haven't even gotten that far in my mind yet. Let's just not
Didn't
even
you
think
see
about
her
that.
for like $6?
Yes,
How much
and it was
$4?
incredible. Yes, it was incredible. I told you she was
literally,
wearing...
how much was it? Was it $4?
It was
$6?
It was
It was
on
a single
sale.
digit,
It was
yeah.
in LA. She was wearing underwear with like a zipper. Like a zipper. Remember I kept telling you like there was this like zipper and I was like scared the zipper was just going to like zip down?
She's amazing.
She was good though, I got to say.
We're done here. We'll see you on Friday with our special holiday episode. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving back.
Happy Thanksgiving. It's your turn to say Happy Thanksgiving back.
Happy Thanksgiving back.
Rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Call us at 619-WHO-THEM if you have a question or a comment. And join our Patreon at patreon.com/WhoWeekly for newsletters, special episodes. And we'll see you on Friday.
And we have live
or
dates
tour
on
tickets.
tour. Let me tell you.
WhoWeekly.us.
Ton of
Click
tour
live.
dates on tour. San Francisco, Los Angeles, Denver, Seattle, Portland, Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Detroit. Oh my God. Chicago, Austin, Dallas. This is insane. Our next year is going to be wild. We're not going to have time to go see Rita. We're going to be so busy.
We're going to get points. Oh my God, we're going to get so many points.
Yeah, I love that's what you think of. Yes, we're going to
Okay,
get so
bye.
many points. See you there. See you in Dallas. Bye, 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 bye.
You will dream it.
They wanna know.
Hey,
Mia.
hey,
Mia.
hey. I want to be famous.